What's up, guys? So in today's episode we're going to be finally slapping on my single turbo onto the baddie. Been waiting for this for a long time. I've just been waiting on the wastegate flange to be welded up. And yeah, so we're going to be slapping on the wastegate as well, slapping on the manifold, all that good stuff. So enjoy. Holy shit, look at that thing. So what we have here is our turbo that we're going to be slapping onto the baddie. So it's a S366 Borgwarner with a .91 AR. It's rated for about, I think, 800 horsepower, but I'm hoping to produce about only 400 at the rear wheels with this car. So look at the size of it though, fucking big as my hand. Crazy. Alright, so over here with my Spates bottles, I have my single turbo manifold. So I bought this off a guy secondhand, some guy in Rotorua, and he said it's like a Synco manifold, but I'm not too sure about that. Could be some ching chong shit, but it's gonna do the job. And so I've recently just had this 50mm flange welded on by one of the bros, Dundre, down at High Power Performance. And yep, so today we're going to be, I'm going to be swapping out the spring in this wastegate. So this is a turbosmart 50mm external wastegate. It's got a 14 psi spring in there at the moment, so that's made up of two 7 psi springs. So all I'm going to be doing is taking the diaphragm apart and then taking out one of the springs. So let's do that now. Alright, so this is what our wastegate looks like inside. Oh, there's our thingy, mabob, and there's our two springs. So all we need to do is remove one of these, and that will get, I might remove this one here. And that should give us our 7 psi. Alrighty, so all I'm going to be doing now is putting it back in the vise and clamping this all together. Alright, so the plan now is to bolt that wastegate onto the manifold and then the manifold onto the car. So we just have this collar that goes into the wastegate just like that, seals it up, and then this side bolts onto the wastegate flange on the manifold side. So I'll just do that now. So that's our manifold on with the wastegate. So I might change the orientation of the wastegate just because especially where the clamp is, like you really won't be able to see. It's very dark, but oh, there we go. Where the clamp is, it kind of sits where the subframe is. So if I need to take that off for whatever reason, it might not have enough room for me to take that off. So I might take, you know, turn it around so it's a bit more accessible. But yeah, we'll have to see about that. Getting that manifold on was fucking hard, to be honest. Alright, so I've just put the turbo down where it's gonna sit with the manifold all kind of bolted in, and it's not looking too fantastic. There's literally like a mil gap, if even, between, well, that's the upper intake manifold and this is our guard, and that's kind of the orientation I want for the turbo. Try to focus this camera, there we go. So yeah, looks like a bit of a bitch. So I'm not too sure how that's gonna go. I mean, I still need to properly bolt in that manifold, which might give me an extra 2 mil on one side, but it'll close the gap on the other side, so not a lot of room to work with. Yeah, so it's not looking too ideal for the turbo. I mean, if I change the orientation of the cold side of the turbo, the intake, it does, obviously because this bit here, it does kind of change how this is gonna sit, because it kind of, this pushes this side towards the air intake. So, I mean, I could always change this orientation, but it's kind of gotta suit how my intercooler is going to sit as well, and because I'm running a top mount now, this has kind of got to be pointing upwards. So yeah, definitely not looking too ideal. And with this hot side being so close to, well, this is our upper intake manifold. Obviously all the cold air comes in through here, and you know, we have the top part here, all part of that unit. So the hot side obviously is going to heat up the cold air, and yeah, it looks like it'll make our engine run even hotter, and at worst case scenario even possibly crack this manifold here, which, you know, we don't fucking want. Yeah, I don't really want to buy a new exhaust manifold either, because most of you are probably aware they're pretty fucking pricey. I paid about, I think, $500 for that one, and it was second hand, and it was supposedly supposed to fit this turbo. Apparently the guy had an even bigger application on, and clearly he was talking shit, because yeah, you saw. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do at this stage, but I'll figure it out. So yeah, stay tuned for that.